Hey, I want to give you the true definition of wealth today on Fetta Facts because this is the number one reason people don't build wealth. Stay tuned, you're not going to want to miss this. Hey, welcome back to another Fetta Facts. All facts, no opinions, right? I want to share with you today the number one reason I think people don't build wealth. I don't think it's because there's not enough money out there, right? There's trillions and trillions of dollars. Gets printed more and more every day by our Federal Reserve banking institution, right? This private corporation that prints all the United States government's money and collects interest and profits. That's another story for another time, right? I don't think it's because of inequality. I don't think it's because there's not enough opportunity out there. I do think part of it is because of financial literacy, right? Knowing the rules to the game. But here's the thing. What rules would apply to a game you don't know about? Right? You wouldn't know the rules to the game if you didn't know what the game was in the first place. If you were playing the wrong game, because here's the thing, right? You can have wrong game or wrong rules or both. Right? I might have the right rules, but it might be to a game that's not winnable. So if I'm using those rules and it's the wrong game, I'm not going to win. On the flip side, I might have the right game. And I'm like, yeah, this is the right game, but the wrong rules. Right? And if I'm playing the right game, but I've got the rules for the wrong game or just rules that don't even work for any game, I'm not going to win even at the right game. So you got to have both. The right game to play and the right set of rules, okay? Now, I want to sketch this out on the whiteboard like I always do on Fetta Facts. Again, all facts, no opinions, and I want to give you some facts about wealth because I think that these facts about wealth change the game. Look what just arrived. I just got my copy of the Blueprint to Financial Freedom. Hey, enjoy the rest of the content. I don't want to interrupt you too long, but if you go to jerryfetta.com/B2F promo or click the link in the description, you can get your copy now. Right? And part of this I want to share, and this is a free course that's inside of my Wealth Dynamics Nation platform. So for those of you that are watching, you can take this free course, and I'm actually going to go into Wealth Dynamics Nation, and I'm going to share this with you guys straight from the source, so you can see what it is I'm talking about, right? So, all right, check this out. This is Wealth Dynamics Nation. If you go into the guide section here, and this is free on Facebook for everyone in the group, but I want to go to Wealth Defined, okay? Now, before I go into Wealth Defined, I want you to think about, before I tell you the answer, what is your definition of wealth? What is your definition of wealth? What are you operating with? Because wealth is the game that you may or may not have chosen to play. Now, if you're listening to this or watching this, I would assume you've probably chosen to play it to some degree, even if you're just at the level of like exploration and interest in figuring out, do I want to play this? There's some interest there. Okay, maybe you're a client of mine or a member of mine on one of our programs and you're like, I'm already playing in this game, right? Think about though, it doesn't matter where you are, what is the definition of wealth that you have today? Okay, do you have that? Good. So here's the real definition. Okay, wealth defines. This is from my course, The Truth About Wealth. This says, my working definition of wealth comes from the root origin of the word. What does that mean? The original real definition, right? Who's ever had an experience where you had a product that you really liked and then they kept changing it, changing it, changing it, and changing it. And by the end of it, it's not even the same thing. And you're like, it has no resemblance to what it was when it first started, that really pure origin, okay? Words have that, right? The origin of this word wealth actually traces back to the origin of the word health, which means wholeness, a being whole, sound, or well. When you trace it back further, it meant whole, uninjured, or of good omen. That means that it's like a sign of good in the future, right? Further back, Old Norse, it meant holy and sacred, and if you go further back, it meant to heal, right? So wealth meant a lot more than just material possessions, okay? So the definition I like to use for wealth, and this is the Wealth Dynamics definition, wealth means abundance and prosperity in all dynamics of your life. Right, what is a dynamic? A dynamic is like, you know, an aspect of something, an area that's got focus and energy behind it, right? So you've got different dynamics of your life. It might be your family, it might be, you know, your own personal health, it might be your finances, it might be your church, it might be your career. There's many dynamics of your life. Wealth would mean abundance and prosperity in all of them. wholeness, right? Soundness, wellness. That's what wealth really is, and that's what's being defined here, okay? Now, I want to share that with you because the current definitions of wealth are like an abundance of material possessions. Like if we go on Google and we look it up, I mean, let me just double check and confirm myself, but I think I'm accurate on this. Yeah, exactly. An abundance of valuable possessions or money. The state of being rich. Plentiful supplies of a particular resource. Those are the definitions of wealth today. Now you might be like me, and this is the problem. I'm not motivated by material possessions. I know I'm the wealth guy. Guys, I don't own a giant house. I don't own a bunch of stuff. I literally, most of what I own can fit in 2 bags, right? I own a lot of assets, true, but I'm not like, I like owning houses, so I'm going to own houses, or I like owning precious metals, right? So I'm going to own precious metals, or I like owning life insurance, so I'm going to own a lot of life insurance. No. That's a means to an end. I'm funding a life of abundance and prosperity in all dynamics. I'm improving the quality of life for myself, for my loved ones, and for the world around me. And to do that, it will take money. And I've become smart enough to know that if I don't get the money coming in from sources that aren't my time, I'm going to continually be enslaved to this game that we play here on planet Earth. This economic game that there's not a way to quit on. You need to win the game or play the game. And you're going to play till you win or till you die. That's how the economic game works. So this definition of wealth is extremely important. Now here's the thing. Let me share this on the whiteboard now. If wealth equals abundance and prosperity in all dynamics of life, right? If that's the true definition of wealth, let me ask you, what rules have you been taught about money? And do those rules win that game? Statistically, they don't, guys. 80% of Americans are paycheck to paycheck. Financial illiteracy in the year of 2023 costed the average American up to $2,500. 7 out of 10 people say they're not going to be able to retire. The average retirement account is like 100 grand. Right? 60% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. Like, you want me to go on with the statistics? The rules people are operating with on money aren't leading to this definition. This is a factual, that is a definition of wealth based on its origin. Okay, so what I'm getting at here is there's going to be 2 ways that you're going to handle this. 2 different things that you're going to need to handle in your life if you want to achieve this definition of wealth, and I'll put these on the whiteboard. 1, gain true knowledge. 2, remove false knowledge. Okay, the knowledge is the rules to the game. If what you know is not leading you day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year to a life of greater abundance and prosperity in all dynamics, and physically, you would see this happening. You would see the quality of life for yourself improving. Your life gets better every single year. The life for your loved ones, quality of life for them, improving every single year. Your loved ones, their lives get better every single year. And for the world around you, your community, your friends, your coworkers, their lives get better every single year. If that's not happening, you're out on 1 or 2 or both of these points. There's knowledge missing. There's rules to the game that is missing. Or you're operating with rules you think are rules that will work and they really don't. You need to identify them, confront them, and remove them and replace them with something that's true. Right? So what are a couple of the rules? I want to give you a couple of the rules, okay? Okay, the first rule. Then this is something stable that you can look at. And I wrote these down. I was doing some notes yesterday. I want to write them down. I want to write them to you guys exactly as I wrote them down here, right? Because it's such an important thing to understand. And I was sitting there yesterday doing some research and study, And I was like, man, this really is something that, we need to like really get this dialed in and figured out. Okay, these are things that are like true. And the first one is just the definition I went over, right? Number one, wealth is abundance and prosperity in all dynamics of life. Okay, that's the first rule. So everything you're doing when it comes to wealth, you could ask yourself, is this building abundance and prosperity in all dynamics of life? And if it's not, then it's something that's not going to get you to wealth, right? That's an easy one. The second one I wrote down here, money comes from outward, valuable, and complete exchange. Okay, so money, which we do need to build wealth, it comes from outward, valuable, and complete exchange. What does outward mean? It's with others that are not me. You're not going to get wealthy raising your kids. I'm not telling you don't raise your kids. I'm saying you will not make money from doing that. You will not get wealthy taking your wife on dates. I'm not telling you don't do that, but I'm saying you won't get money from that. So it's important for you to identify what are the money-making activities in your life and what are the non-money-making activities. Because the number one question I'm being asked today is, how do I increase my income right now? Well, you need to change more of your focus and attention over to things that actually make money for you, right? And that does mean you're going to need to budget your time. You only have 168 hours in a week. So you need to take some of that time and direct that to things that are actually going to make you money. And that comes from outward exchange. It needs to be valuable. What does valuable mean? It improves someone else's dynamics of life. It makes their lives more abundant and prosperous. You said this flows together because I said your quality of life improves, quality of life of your loved ones improve, quality of life of the world around you improve. You would actually start on the third one. How do I improve the quality of life for the world around me? And then by doing so, I'm doing outward, valuable, and complete exchange. And that brings money in. And that money then helps me and my loved ones, doesn't it? Right? Now, what about this complete part? You can't rip people off. You need to give them an actual real thing. Nobody likes buying something and then it doesn't work, or it's different than they expected, or they've got to return it and get a new one. Make sure it's complete. Make sure it's quality. Okay? The next one I wrote down here. Financial training brings positive results. All right, so if you want to, and this would be true financial training. Okay, back to what's true and not true with these rules. True financial training brings positive results. If I'm training on finances, on true information, I will see positive results. Now, if I'm seeing negative results, one of two things. I'm either not training, shame on you, you need to learn about money, or I'm training on stuff that's not true. One of the two, okay? These would be the main things here, okay? These would be the main things. And everything you do should, we need to insert time into this, create a measurable result now. Not when you're 60, now. You should see these things happening now. Just like if you go to the gym, you would see results relatively soon. In the first week, if you're going to the gym and you're eating right, you'd be like, man, last week I weighed this and I lost 2 pounds already. Could you imagine, let's take that as a game, right? Let me set my notes aside here. Let's take that as a game where you're like, I want to play the game of getting in shape, right? And someone was like, cool. So you're going to work out. You need to work out every day, an hour a day. You need to diet. That means you're going to give up a lot of the foods you like, right? And you're going to have to, kind of go hungry once in a while because you're going to feel like you need more food, but you're on a diet. And you're not going to see results till you're 65, right? Would you go to the gym and work out? You're like, dude, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in giving up things until I'm 65 to finally have results. No, thank you. Like I would rather at least, I get it, guys. I would rather have the food I want to have now. I would rather do the things I want to do now and not have to wait so long. Wealth is not a 65 proposition. Your finances should improve now if you start building wealth, and they should improve every single year. That's that quality of life aspect, right? These are the top 3 or 4 true things regarding money that you can run everything through. And if you run everything through these things, you will start to identify which rules are true and which ones aren't. Which rules are going to help you win the wealth game and which rules aren't. Right? Abundance and prosperity in all dynamics of life. Right? You've got to have outward, valuable, and complete exchange with others. Right? You've got to train on true financial information in order to get results. Okay? Run with those 3. That's all I got for you this week on Fetta Facts, guys. I hope that was helpful. If it was, definitely like the video, subscribe, share it with someone that needs to see this. And by all means, I know you're going to see some commercials, but grab a copy of my book, right? Blueprint to Financial Freedom. If you use the links that you'll see here on this video, you can get a free copy. True financial training brings positive results. Okay, this is a way to start. Thank you for watching. See you next time. I want to thank you for watching my video. If you learned something from this, if it was value to you, what I'd like to do is I'd actually like to give you a free copy of my book, Blueprint to Financial Freedom. This is perfect for those that are on my channel learning this stuff and you want to take it to the next level. So if you go to the link jerryfetta.com, just my first and last name, jerryfetta.com/B2F promo, or click the link in the description, grab a free copy, we'll send it out to you. Can't wait to get you a copy in your hands.